Welcome to Living the Dream, sponsored by Jackrabbit Dance, the podcast that brings together studio owners, dance educators, and leaders in the industry. Hosted by Rhee and Laura Giacomelli, each episode is packed with real talk, inspiration, and a passion for the dance life. We're so glad you're here. We're live. I don't know what that was exactly, but the intro seemed to have stopped. You can hear me, right, Laura?
I can hear you. We're all good, Rhee.
We're all good. It's that intro. That they didn't have that together tonight.
It's okay. The show must go on, right?
Here we go. That threw me off a little. I didn't even know what to do next, but here we are. Good evening, friends. Welcome to Living the Dream. And I want to welcome my fabulous co-host, Laura Giacomelli.
Thank you, Rhee. Hi, everybody. Thanks for spending your evening with us. We are really looking forward to this insightful and inspiring conversation tonight.
And our guest tonight is someone who has really impacted and shaped the early childhood dance space. I feel like with wisdom and passion and a whole lot of innovation.
Yes. She is the founder of Discover Dance and a leader in the developmentally appropriate dance education for preschoolers. But tonight, it's going to get a little personal. We want to know her, how she started, where she came from, and what fuels her.
That's it. That's what Living the Dream is all about. Yep. So, Laura, let's talk about what's been going on lately. How's your third-ish week back at the studio? Do I have that right?
Yeah, so this is actually our second week back at the studio. We started later. We started after Labor Day, the Saturday after Labor Day. We're in Pennsylvania, so it's a little, kids go back to school kind of all over the place. But it's really good. I was saying that to you earlier. I'm trying to get like a head start on things, as a studio owner. So I'm like pre-planning all of our pop-up events and all of our workshops. And I'm hoping that if everyone gets these dates nice and early, that people can start signing up early, mark their calendar, save the dates. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, Rhee. Just kind of getting the ball really rolling forward with the season, because it's hard to believe we're like halfway through September already. It's crazy.
Halfway through September already. We are. Mm-hmm. That is true. But I want to ask you a question about something you just said. Is strategizing all of those special events and pop-ups and all of those extra something that you would have done this early before?
No, because you're going to laugh. So before, I used to do all of them myself. And I actually delegated them to someone else this year. One of my Saturday teachers, who I no longer work on Saturdays with the babies. I have 3 teachers on Saturdays that work with the littles. And last year I would still go in and do all the pop-up camps once a month. And what I realized is it's like, I already have staff there who want more hours, who are asking like, what else do you need? What can I help you with? And I finally approached the one. I said, do you want to be the preschool director? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, do you want to do the pop-up camps on Saturday? You're already there. She's like, what's the commitment? I'm like, 1 Saturday a month. She's like, this is when I'm free in September. This is October. She gave me all the dates, like already, all the themes she wanted to do. And I just did the Canva and marketing for it. So I didn't usually plan this far out. But I will say, like, I just dropped them all maybe last week. And our camp that we have next, it's Saturday the 27th is our first one. We already have 18 kids signed up for it. And then people already know about the next one. So people are already signing up for the October one, because when they log in, they're all listed already, September through December. So they're seeing all the options and they're signing up for multiple, which is great.
Do you have a strategy or something you could share with our viewers tonight, but our listeners on the podcast as well, as to how you manage. There are some people who tell me, I try pop-ups. People aren't as into it as they are at other schools. Do you have
Mhm.
a tip or a secret in that area?
Yeah, I think for me, I try not to make it just, this is probably going to sound funny, not just dance. I try to make it and market it to like the entire family. So boy siblings will come, older sisters will come. I make it a very wide range.
Hmm.
And I look to see and kind of keep my ears open. Like, what are the kids talking about? What do they like right now? Like this month right now is K-pop. And if anyone's listening and they teach, they know what K-pop is this whole like anime, fun music, poppy thing. And like, so that's our first one is it's a K-pop nighttime dance party. And like everyone's like, K-pop, oh my gosh. So I think it's about listening to the kids and running with the ball with what they like, that pulling that interest, at that interest for them. That seems to be working at least. And then next month is zombies. So there's a zombie movies that's out that all the kids love too. So, and it fits with Halloween. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Do they fill with mostly your current students, or do you get outside people that come in as well?
I do both. So our pop-up camps are 2.5 hours, and I do a really wide age range. I do 3 to 10. And when I market it, I say that siblings, neighbors, friends, cousins, all are welcome. So if mom and dad want to have like a date night with the neighbors, they'll let the neighbors sign up. And then what's nice is like I might get 5 to 8 kids that aren't Libra dancers per se. And then I'll make sure they leave with like fall information and these are the classes that we offer. But a lot of them maybe don't want to dance, but they want to come every month to the pop-up camps because they like them. So I'm like, as long as I get them in the door, I would love to get them anyway. You know what I mean? Like
I
whether it's a
do.
camp or a class, like why not? So yeah, I have like a pretty decent mix of people who register for them, which is great. I love that.
Um, we turned this banter tonight into a little business session.
Yeah. It's okay. We can always talk
Sometimes
shop.
I can't help myself. That's what I do 24/7. It's like, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
And how much money do you make? And,
What do you charge? What are the hours? What's your cap? Right? I get it. Hit all the basics. I get it.
yeah. So we'll start calling this mini seminar at the start of Living the Dream, a tidbit of business information.
How are things in your world though? Maybe not K-pop dance camps, but what else is going on in your
You
world?
know what? It's like the third or fourth time this week I've heard K-pop from different
Really?
meetings. Yes, a lot of people running K-pop events in their studio.
Yep.
So I didn't want to act like I didn't know what it was the first
Yeah.
time it was brought up. So while I'm in the meeting, I go online and I go, what is K-pop? Now I know, and I could explain it and be an
Yep.
expert in why you should run a K-pop.
Rhee, can I tell you something? I haven't watched it. I just heard all the kids talking about it. And I was in the studio, like just observing classes last week, and I hear one of the K-pop songs come on in a different class, and all the kids go, yeah! And they all start singing it. I was like, well, I picked the right theme. I'm like, there we go. I'm like, they all know it. Yeah, they all know it. That's for sure. And now you do too, Rhee. I'm proud of you.
I'm a wicked cool cutting edge person.
Now that you're in the K-pop, no.
Yeah. Life's been busy for me. Working on Michelle and I are going on the air next Wednesday talking about the future of the Studio Owner Alliance and the Gold Alliances. And I've been buckling down on that for the last week. I'm a little like nervous. I don't want to leave anything out. I want Michelle to be well informed. So that's what I've been focusing on. And
That's
a
good.
ton of other things.
Yeah, that's going to be a great event. And that's Wednesday, September 24th at 11 a.m., you said, right? I believe it's
Wow,
11
you
a.m.
are good at that. Yes, it is. All right, so let's go with our guest, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Before we bring on Andrea on, I want to thank Jackrabbit Dance. They are a true supporter of everything that we do, conferences, the magazine, this. And it's not only us, they're supporters of everybody within the community.
Agreed. Jackrabbit helps dance studios stay organized and thriving. Their software handles everything from registration to payments to scheduling.
And we're going to tell you a little more about them. And after this commercial break, we'll be back with Andrea Trench.
This episode is sponsored. This episode is sponsored by Jackrabbit Dance, the dance studio software empowering you to build the studio of your dreams. With over 20 years of experience, Jackrabbit has the solutions and industry insights to help your business grow. Want to increase student enrollment, optimize your pricing to be profitable, or improve staff retention? See how other studios are using Jackrabbit Dance to hit their goals year after year. To learn more, visit jackrabbitdance.com/benchmarks.
Hi.
Hi.
It's awesome to have you here, my friend.
Thanks for you two are fun together. Thanks for having me.
We've been doing it a while now.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
And when you do it at night, it's a little looser, I think. I can't explain that. And that's without a glass of wine. That's just a natural flow.
Yeah,
just still tea.
Yeah, we'll see how this all goes tonight, okay?
Okay. I want to start this off by saying, for years I've watched you do what you do, and I've admired it. And the reason I admire it is because there's a purpose behind everything that you do, everything that you share. With a studio owner or a teacher and what's going on in the classroom. And I feel like your passion comes through, that it's not just about your program. It's about doing a really good job at what you do.
Well, thank you. That was my goal. I wanted to be here for teachers. I wanted to show up for them, and I'm still showing up for them. So
yes.
It's going well.
And you can tell how much you're loved and appreciated by the teachers when you go to Dance Life Teacher Conference. And I remember the first time I walked into one of your classrooms, I was like, "Ooh, wow!" Like, didn't have a spot to like put my bag down. I was like, "This is going to be a good seminar." Like, and it was good.
Yeah. We have a ton of fun in those classes. A ton of fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us about your earliest memory in dance. Like, was it love at first, plie? What was dance for you in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it was love at first plie. Well, more like shuffle, because I started out in tap. I guess it was ballet tap, but I started dancing when I was 3 at a local studio. I actually went to the studio that my cousin was dancing at, but I wasn't old enough to be in her class. So I was like, well, forget this. So we went to the next studio down the street and they took me, but it must have been like mid-year. I don't know. They took me, but for private lessons. And actually, I recently found some videos of me doing a private tap lesson as a 3-year-old.
I was going to say, as a 3-year-old, private lessons. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do have videos of that from the early 80s of me tap dancing. I guess it was Parent Watch Week. And the teacher going over to the record player and then coming back to the bar. And we were working on our shuffle. Yeah. So that was my earliest memory, because I remember walking into that studio and I fell in love, and I've been dancing ever since. And yeah, I even did a private listen. Oh,
wait, I got to ask a follow up on that.
Okay.
The next question. In looking at what you were learning at age 3.
Yeah.
did you feel it was like up to par and
Yeah, was it age appropriate, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
It's hard to say. We've learned a lot since then. And actually, my
know.
first teacher, she actually came to my very first Discover Dance teacher training.
Wow, what a full circle.
She drove from Kentucky up to Illinois and took my teacher training. And I was like, what? Because I left that studio when I was in the 8th grade. So it's not even like I graduated from there or anything. But
Right.
yeah, she found me on social media and was following me and then came to my very first teacher training. It was wild.
And your very first one, how special is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was great.
Well, adding on to that, how did you know that this was your path? Like, when was the moment that you knew dance was going to be in your life forever?
Yeah, these are great questions because it's all fresh in my mind. I just recorded my 300th minute masterclass podcast episode, and I'm talking all about this. So it's like I'm prepared, Rhee. You think you're gonna trick me with all your questions, but no, I actually knew dance was gonna be what I did for the rest of my life when I was accepted into the Youth Performing Arts High School in Louisville, Kentucky. I went there back in that time, they took middle schoolers as well. So I was actually 7th grade and I was training with these high schoolers at this performing arts school. And that's where I was introduced to proper ballet classes because I was at a comp studio. We were just learning routines, right? We were just learning dances, but not how to dance, but dances. I did learn how to dance along the way, but we were in the ballet class twice a week. We did jazz and modern is when I was into modern. 7th grade doing a Graham class. I had no idea it was Graham. I had no idea what I was doing. My teacher was wild and I loved it. And I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Dance is going to be a part of my life.
Well, I feel like Graham can be a very deciding factor. It's either like you adore this or you're like, oh, no, give me Horton.
Yeah. I did Horton too. It was like we had a little bit of Graham and Horton and Lamone, and I was just like whenever we had a new modern teacher, it was a new technique, and I just adored it all. But yeah.
That's really cool because you know that at the time you were dancing, kids weren't into modern. For you to have discovered that as a teenager, that's kind of
right.
a cool thing.
Yeah, and then I went to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I had when I auditioned, our audition, man, there's a big difference between people who are coming from a competition studio auditioning for a modern program and then us coming from a performing arts school where we've had improv, we had dance composition, we had the modern. It was interesting. It was really interesting. But I was so thankful that I had the training that I did. But I did sacrifice a lot. Like I had to leave my neighborhood school, all my friends. I was like I had to take 2 buses downtown Louisville, and I knew no one when I went. The same thing for college, but that's how important dance was to me.
And you were so young to be doing that, 7th grade. Like that's wow.
Yeah. And I was going to a tiny Catholic school, and then I went into this big public school downtown Louisville. It was scary. It was a lot. It was like from 12 people to how many hundreds of people in my class. So
yeah, probably opened your eyes to lots of things in life, right?
It did. It did. Yeah.
So
great.
Is there a particular teacher or a person that you look back on and say they were one of my biggest inspirations or role models?
Yeah, especially in high school. I mean, I feel like at every stage of my life, I have a teacher that has really changed and shaped me. But in high school, we had this core group of teachers. I had 2 ballet teachers, a modern teacher, and a jazz teacher. And they all it was such a community. I mean, what we feel in our studios every week in the evening, but I was spending like days with these people. Every single day we had dance class. Then we had several hours of rehearsal, and it really did shape the teacher and the person who I am. But yes, Miss Aswad was one of them. Miss Mudd, Mr. Mel, and Miss Benedict. They were all just so fabulous. But Miss Aswad, she was always really peppy. And I don't know if she'll watch this, but if my best friend, she'll send it to her. But she actually was a few years back, if you ever went to Disney World and you stayed at one of their Disney resorts, she was the one who was taking you through Disney World and like going on all the rides. And like, so if you ever, yeah, I would go to Disney World and I would turn on my TV and there's Stacy. And she's like,
what a cool gig.
Yeah, she's fabulous. She went to Juilliard for ballet, and she came to Louisville, Kentucky to teach a bunch of high schoolers ballet. She'd walk into the class. She was tiny. She'd go, what would she always say? I don't know. She'd always have these little quirky sayings that she would say, and I know it's going to come back to me when we get off here, but just her attitude and her, enthusiasm for ballet with teenagers. So that was really, those teachers really meant a lot to me. And then I can't not say Kate Cooper, because she's the one who taught me how to teach kids at the University of Urbana-Champaign. So she's the one that introduced me to Anne Green Gilbert's work. And I worked hand in hand with her for 2 years. I was her assistant. We would go into the public schools, and she would be teaching a gym full of hundreds of kids. It felt like, I'm sure it wasn't, but it felt like it. And she would have their attention, and they would get them dancing, boys and girls, and they would all be dancing and creating and just having so much fun with dance. I mean, it was incredible. So she's really the one who, after I took her class, I knew that I would be a teacher and that was what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
But how did you find out like that preschool was your niche? Like, was that always what you wanted to teach, or did you start with the older students and then go into the littles? How did you end up making the preschool division being your focus?
And did you ever dream that you'd have a preschool modern dance Horton company?
I'm working on that. It's a secret. Come on. Yes, discover Horton. Okay, focus. What was your question? What did I know?
That preschool. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So when I was 16, I was dancing at a studio with my best friend, who's still my best friend today. And we had 2 teachers quit, and the studio owner was like, "What am I going to do?" And we were like, I'll do it. She got the older kids. I got the preschoolers. So I was like, fine, whatever. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. From that moment on, every job that I got dealt with little kids, because I was invested on learning how they think and how they learn and how they grow. So I got jobs at daycares. I got jobs at the child development lab at U of I. I got nanny jobs, babysitting, everything. If I needed to make money, it had to do with kids. And then I learned how to actually teach kids with Kate Cooper. And honestly, after college, when I started trying to just, find my home studio, where am I going to go now? I have all of this knowledge I want to teach for the rest of my life. I couldn't find a studio that I really loved. So I had the opportunity to open my own studio. So I wouldn't say that I was always just focused on preschoolers, but when it came to Discover Dance and transitioning out of running a studio, I don't know, I just needed to find my thing, and that is what I always went back to, was the early childhood. And when Facebook and all the teacher groups started to rile up, there was a lot of questions about early childhood and preschool classes and how do you handle it and what do you do? Yep. And I was at a teacher training here in Chicago, not for early childhood, but and I was just there as a teacher. A lot of the teachers were asking questions about preschool, and the people who were running it, that's not that wasn't their thing. So I'm like, and I just started like giving tips, answering their questions. And so that those people invited me back the next year to present about preschool. And then that's when I launched Discover Dance. And so that's just kind of where I stuck. But I teach all ages. I know people don't realize that. They're like, oh, you teach all? Yeah, I do. I've been doing this for 27 years, I think I've been teaching. So I teach all ages and a lot of styles. I wouldn't do hip hop, but I can pull out my, I had private tap lessons when I was 3, so I can pull those out.
That's right. So can I say, as a studio owner going into season 15, the hardest teachers to come by are the baby teachers.
Yeah.
Right now I only teach on Monday nights. That's it. We're open 6 days a week. We have 55 classes that we run. I teach 3 classes Monday nights. It took me 13 years to give up my baby classes on Saturday morning. 13 years. Last year was the first year I ever gave them up. And I even like now I'm like, oh, I miss them. I miss the babies. Like I miss, because it's just like you're either a preschool teacher or it's not your thing. I feel like, because if you fake it, the room knows you're faking it. All those littles, they can read you. They know. I subbed 1 class last year. We got a sub and the sub got sick. So I'm racing over to the studio to jump in to relieve her. And I walk in and the little ones were like, who are you? Like, and I was like, I'm Miss Laura. Can I dance with you? They're like, yes, get a ribbon. Like they just but they knew that like, oh, she could do this. Like she can be with us. Whereas like, they just, when you're not, they know that. And the class gets wild and it takes a certain type of, I say it's like your Disney princess voice. You have to have that Disney princess voice on with them and you're entertaining them. It takes a totally different amount of mental and physical effort to get through those baby classes on Saturday. I would be exhausted teaching 5 hours on a Saturday, worth every single second. I loved it. But compared to my jazz classes on Monday, Shaw say step, so to Shaw step, side leap, go. Right. Like it's just a different, it's a different vibe. It's a different level of pushing. Yes, I'm giving them corrections, I'm giving them notes, but like those littles, they're like the bread and butter of your dance studio. And those teachers, oh, they're gold. When I have 3 right now, well, actually 4, I'm really lucky. By 3 on Saturdays who teach. And oh my gosh, they are, I count my blessings. I count all of them 3 times, not just twice. I count them 3 times. I'm like, you girls are incredible, with my littles. And they're just, it's really important to have good people working with your up and coming to make them fall in love with dance. That's the whole thing. Like to make them fall in love with it. It's super important for the whole studio's growth, for the whole studio's retention. You have to keep those littles. You have to.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm never nervous going into a 6-year-old or up class. You give me a 4-year-old class or a 3 or a 2-year-old class, and I'm like stressing all day.
It's so true. Because you don't know what to walk in. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, because their little day is like, like where they shuffled around all day and they get to dance. Are they tired? Did they have their snack? Do they have to go to the bathroom? Did they see mom? Did they not see? Like all those things just like shape their whole little day of that 40-minute class. They're coming to us, but it's so true though. That class, you never know. And you always have to have like a plan A, B, C, and D because A never goes right. And you have to just keep rolling back to the next plan for sure. For sure.
Okay. I was trying to think if I wanted to say this. I'm going to say this. To our viewers or listeners, I've always felt that when it comes to investing in teachers, it's like I could spend big money on the intensive dancer, contemporary teacher, but that's not going to do nearly as much good for the future of my business if I don't invest in my preschool teachers the same way. I look at it as this is your introduction to this child loving dance, and a $12 16-year-old teacher won't accomplish that.
Right.
Can you tell why I debated whether I was going to say that?
But Rhee, what you're saying is completely correct. Like the first, I have directors at my studio now, so I'm the owner. The first director that I got was Brittany, and she's the director of the dance company because the dance company grew and was taking up a lot of my mental space and emails and all of that. But the next one I got was a preschool director because to me, it's like, and she's a school teacher by trade, training to be a principal. She has special ed background. She has young children. She's amazing with the littles. And I said to her, here's our syllabus. Create something. Do something new. Because every time when I would pop my head into her classroom, she was doing something like above and beyond that was out of my syllabus that I loved. And I was like, can you write that down? So my other teachers do that. Can you just different things? Like she had certain songs for Mother's Day she sings, certain songs for Valentine's Day. Everything had a theme. And I'm like, all of my classes need to follow you. Like, even though you're only teaching on Saturdays, like how can I get you to get everybody else on the same path? Because everyone else is doing great, but I loved the extra creativity that she was adding to it. And I was like, to me, that's so worth paying her a stipend or putting her on payroll to do all that extra stuff, because that's only going to help grow my baby program, which is what you're saying. That's what I want. You want those littles. They're your bread and butter. They are your future competitive dancers that are going to be there 6 days a week. If you're doing it right, like that's what you want. You want them homegrown. At least that's what I want. I want the homegrown babies.
Yeah. And
like
I love
it works better for me.
Yeah. And I love that you're giving them the freedom to explore and create and to bring their own selves into it. And that's what, that's the evolution. If I look back at the evolution of Discover Dance, when I first launched, it was just lesson plans. Like, here you go. That didn't work, right? I mean, they had all these cool ideas and a new way to look at classes, but without the knowing why they're doing what they're doing and how to do it, then I was like, okay, well, that worked well. Let me scrap it and let me start over. And so now Discover Dance is an educational platform where teachers come to be inspired and to learn. And then they go out. I call it freedom within the framework. Like, I have the framework for you. I have, a lesson plan layout, and this is why we do what we do the way we do it. But then make it your own, because when you find teachers who love to teach little ones, they are creative. They're naturally, they have to be. We have to be scrappy. We have to be creative in the moment. So they already have so many great ideas. And I can't tell you how many people, even at After Dance Life, they would come up to me, young teachers, and be like, you have changed the way that I teach my classes. Thank you so much. And that's what I want. I always say, I don't want a bunch of little Miss Andreas going around. That's not going to get it. You're not going to teach class like me. You're not, you didn't have the same dance journey as me. You don't have the same knowledge as me, my same experiences. So what we have to do is we have to use what you have and enrich that and continue to learn and to grow so that you can create something unique and special for your classroom. And so I think that it's really important that studio owners, yes, they invest in great teachers. Yes, they invest in their teachers at continuing education and professional development, but they also allow them that freedom to be creative and to try things out. And are they always going to work? Absolutely not. I'm the first to say, well, we're never doing that again. But to have the support from a studio owner, it means a lot. So thank you for that. Thank you for being that support, because I'm sure she's a better teacher now, especially, being told, can you do this? Right?
Yeah. And she literally, when I tell you, she didn't even think about it. She was like, yep, let's go. Yeah. It's like, I already, it's like, I can write it all out for you. And because I said, I'm like, each month I want a theme. I want, maybe November is teddy bear month, whatever this is like, and I want she's like, Under the Sea. Yep. This, that. Yep. Like, she just, I think with being a teacher by trade, she that's right up as far as like the putting it on pen and paper. She'll be able to do that she does it all day long, you know,
Yeah.
like she's like, I got this. So it's exciting. I'm excited to like see what she comes up with. And I think she's excited to have her, like you're saying, have her ideas and vision heard at that level of like, let's see what we can do with all the other classes, you know? I think she's
I love
excited
it.
for it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what she comes up with.
It's fun, isn't it? I mean, like
Mhm.
my Discover Dance members, they come back with these great ideas and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so smart. And you
Mhm.
know, I love it.
What's one thing you wish that every dance teacher understood about early childhood?
Oh my gosh. I wish, and I this is better. It's getting better, but I wish they took it more seriously. Like it's not just running around with scarves. Like there is a reason why we have the scarves, and there is development behind everything that we do. So I think when teachers just show up with a playlist of fun activities and there's no connection in between, there's no conversation with the little ones, there's no student focused explorations or giving them the chance to create themselves, I think it's doing a disservice to child development and to the art of dance. Really. I mean, I think that we could be taking our early childhood classes a lot more serious because it is serious business. And I think caregivers need to take it more seriously. I think teachers need to take it more. I think everybody needs to take it more seriously. Because we are, we're setting the foundation, not just for, future dance classes, but we're setting the foundation for their development, because their brain development, their physical development, their social emotional development, like all that happens inside of our 30-40 minute class.
Right.
But we have to show up and know that that's what's happening, and how can we foster that. Yeah, and caregivers, I wish they took it a little more seriously too, but they just don't know. You know what they don't know, you don't know.
Right.
So I think the more that we can educate the caregivers on the importance of dance in their child's life, the importance of the social interaction, the importance of the creative expression and improvisation and creativity, all of that is important. And that's why every child should be in dance class.
Yeah. And I think in addition to that, a lot of, we say preschool, but you're talking 5 and under. Some of these kids, that is the only 40 minutes they are not with their mom the entire week. So when you say like you are shaping their mind of what it's like to not be holding mom's hand at all times or in her arms, we really are. Like when you don't have to always be with mom. This is how you're going to socialize. This is how we take turns. It's so much more than just sit on your dot. Now we're going to point and flex our feet. Now we stand up. Now we put our hands in fit. Like there's so much more than just that. Like what you're saying. It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Andrea, could you share a moment in your career that felt, whether it's in the classroom, at a convention, wherever, that felt especially meaningful to you?
I have a couple. Let's see. I'll start. Okay. So when I was running a studio, we would always do a company meeting, a company parent meeting. Everybody would dread them. And I'm like, come on, parents, let's talk about company. I don't know. Do you still do them in person, or do you?
So I switched mine to Zoom just because we have so many. So we have like 80 parents on Teams. So I'm like, log in. See you soon.
So we would bring all the parents in and we get them in a big circle and we just go through our packet. This was probably a decade ago. I don't know. But I just remember, like, I just loved talking to the caregivers. Now they are the reason why I burnt out and left the studio. So let's not get too far ahead. But in general, they were fabulous. And I really did love connecting with them. And I loved connecting with their children in front of them so that they could see that, I was part of their village. Like this, you come to me every single night. I'm part of your village. Your kid talks about me at dinner. The dance is part of your life. Anyways, so I got through with my message and this mom comes up to me in tears. And I'm telling you, we're just talking about rehearsals and costumes. And she goes, whenever you talk, I just feel the Holy Spirit in the
Oh my
room.
God. Oh my God.
I was like, oh my goodness. But
I'll give that an amen and a hallelujah.
Like,
I think she was just talking about my passion, but hey, I'll take it. But it's, like to be able to touch a parent like that, just for talking, like
Yeah.
literally reading from the packet, that was a time I'll never forget. And then this past year, and actually, I wrote an article for the next Dance Life magazine. I won't give too much away. You have to read the article in the next issue. But I had a little girl who was coming to me, 2-year-old, and she had cancer. She had cancer, and she would come every week to my class, and I'd open up my door. I'd do my little thing where I get down on their level, and I'd just wait to see who comes up to me. She'd be the first little face. I'm so excited for dance class. I'm so excited. I'm like, well, I'm so excited you're here. So we would get in, we'd dance. Some days were better than others. She would sit down and be like, I'm hungry. And then she'd just scream, I'm hungry. Like we had moments. But she just kept showing up. She kept showing up every week. And by the end of the week, she was able to ring that bell, and she is cancer free. And I was able to be on that journey with her and her family. And that is a moment that I'll never forget, because when she felt good, she loved dance. She loved being there. She loved dancing with her friends. And when she didn't feel good, she still came to dance, and we worked through it together. And so that was those two. There's been a ton, but those two moments really, I think about a lot. Yeah.
But I hope you know that how that mom said that about you, about she feels the Holy Spirit. That little girl with cancer felt your energy, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
And she, I'm sure, lived for that for week to week to week, that where you were like a bright star for her. So you should keep that close to your heart, knowing that even when she was going through chemo, that she wanted to be at dance. Like that's when you're feeling your sickest. That's incredible.
Isn't it? I mean, and I don't know. And I had another little girl the year before she was like having seizures, and she had to have brain surgery. Like, what is happening with these little kids? But I was so thankful that they were making time to come to dance, to escape their reality, and to just be there, and to have something to do, and to have people who will support them and cheer for them and dance with them and play with them and laugh with them. It's really special.
That normalcy is so important. That's what any parent wants, is that joy and that normalcy, especially when you're going through something like that. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Keeping in the spirit of things, like you just said, there's a reason those kids come to your class.
Yep.
There is a reason that we have the students that we have, and we impact the people that we do.
Yep.
I wasn't kidding when I said amen, hallelujah. I just don't talk about it too much. Anyway, we do something called rapid fire fun.
Is it fun?
Yes. It's easy.
Okay.
Quick steps. First thing that comes to your mind. Laura, go for it.
Okay, I like this one. I'm curious what your answer is. Favorite prop to use in a preschool class?
Ooh, I love a parachute.
A song that always gets your dancers moving.
Any kind of freeze dance.
Your go-to coffee or tea order?
Oh, venti iced latte with non-fat milk.
That was very definitive.
It's the only thing I get not every single day. I've had to cut back. They're expensive.
What's a word that describes your teaching style?
That's good. Intentional.
I love that. I think that's very fitting for our conversation that we had this whole hour. I love that. What does living the dream mean to you?
Waking up and being excited for the day. like being able to do what I do, Discover Dance, being able to show up for teachers, but also being there for my husband and my kids who are growing so fast and who will be leaving me in no time. So I need to make sure that I spend all the time I can with them.
I don't always ask this, but I want to, especially for those who may be listening to this on a podcast. Can you give everybody your URL to check out Discover Dance if they're not familiar with it?
Sure. It's discoverdance.com. And then I'm most active on Instagram, where I show up almost every day with something. But I'm all about educating. So come join me on Instagram, discoverdance_education.
Thank you, Andrea Trench.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you for sharing your journey, your insight, and just your passion with us.
Do you feel the Holy Spirit?
I do.
Just kidding.
I did not know that was going to happen this evening.
Thank you for having me.
You continue to elevate the importance of early childhood dance education in such a thoughtful way, which I, as a studio owner, truly appreciate. So thank you for all you do.
And thank you to our sponsor, Jackrabbit Dance, for making this episode possible and for supporting dance teachers everywhere.
Yep. And if you love this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And of course, subscribe to Living the Dream on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube.
I always forget about the YouTube part.
YouTube.
Yes. You can visit regold.com, find out about our conferences, membership organizations for teachers and studio owners. And there's a lot of inspirational resources there as well.
Until next time.
Take care, everybody. Live the dream. And because I never stop talking, know that you are every day living your dream, because you probably, most everybody listening or seeing this, started having this passion for dance at a young age. And you had many friends who also did, but for some reason they got distracted. You somehow pulled it off. So even on those toughest days, wake up and go, I did get what I wanted. I am living my dream. And appreciate that factoid before you get into the stress of that day. Take care, everybody. Thank you. That's a wrap on this episode of Living the Dream. A huge thank you to our sponsor, Jackrabbit Dance, for their support of our community and helping dance studios thrive. If you loved today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your dance friends. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep dancing, and keep making a difference.